2002 and 2005, and it also features Real Salt Lake. In their 5th year of existence, this is the farthest that they have ever come. They're competing for the Philip Anschutz Trophy to be champions of Major League Soccer. Welcome everyone to Seattle with John Harkes. I'm JP Dellacamera. Last year, the Galaxy didn't even make the playoffs, even though they had Landon Donovan, who is this year's league MVP. So, John, how do they turn it all around in a year?
3 names right now: David Beckham, Bruce Arena, and Donovan Ricketts. They have made the difference. David Beckham is healthy. He is inspired to play. He has all the heart, and he's been here in big games before. He needs to bring that experience to this team. Bruce Arena, well, he had to manage, and if you want to start a club off the right way, you get the best guy. He is the manager of all managers in this country, in my opinion. So he has to correct things in the dressing room, set it straight, and he wanted to start with the defense. So he went out and he got Donovan Ricketts, the best keeper right now in this final. Donovan Ricketts, all the experience, international Jamaican. He makes the saves he should, and he also comes up with the big saves that you don't expect. David Beckham yesterday said to me, Harksey, that's the reason why we're here.
On the opposite side for Real Salt Lake, they will come in as the underdogs. They'll have plenty of support here, as will the Galaxy, but Real Salt Lake is relying on a very young coach to lead them to a title. Jason Kreis.
And Jason Kreis, as a player, was a hard-working player. He loved to score goals, and he loved to attack. He has a desire, and he put that work ethic into this team to drive them and put them in this position where they are today. Hopefully, he's saying that transcends into a win and a victory over the LA Galaxy in this Cup final that we're seeing in 2009.
We're just about ready for kickoff. Who will start tonight? Will it be the big guns that you normally expect, like a Landon Donovan and a David Beckham? Or will it be a Kyle Beckerman for Real Salt Lake? 2 hungry teams, only one winner here tonight. Galaxy will be in the white uniforms as we check out weather conditions. Temperature-wise, Rob Stone was right, very cold here, 47 degrees, and that's going to drop a bit. Looks like in the stadium and feels like, John Harkes, a little bit of England here.
It is actually, the atmosphere is fantastic. The fans, well, they're all here. You saw that dimension of the cold air and everything else. This is perfect weather for a great game, and the energy level is going to be high.
Long ball right away from the Galaxy. Donovan trying to get to it. And Williams is over there, and it's deflected away, out for a goal kick. Landon Donovan, 9 times an All-Star in Major League Soccer. The first time he's been the league MVP. What a season for him, but he wants to cap it off with another MLS Cup. He's won 3 of them.
Yeah, he has loads of experience in postseason play, and of course in the Cup finals he scores goals. Landon Donovan, best player in the league this year.
Nick Raimondo, sensational against Chicago last week, winning that match on penalties. That's why they are here. Long from Obsessian. Javi Morales, number 11 on the ball. Real Salt Lake losing it there to the Galaxy, who tried the long ball to Buttle. The red and blue, this is Real Salt Lake. When that pass is broken up, Beckham was over there on that far side. Jamison Olave, the Colombian defender, goes long with this. Flicked by Franklin towards David Beckham. Off McGee. Turovsky. McGee. Taken down. Kevin Stott calls the foul. Kevin Stott is the match referee. This is his 3rd MLS Cup final. Free kick now for the Galaxy. Beckham towards Donovan. He was bumped by Russell. Andy Williams is on it, 77. He almost gave that ball away. The speedy Finley will pick it up. He started his career with the Galaxy. Loved to beat his ex-team. The cross is whizzed wide of Donovan Ricketts. That could have been dangerous.
Well, already you've seen the surface making a little bit of a difference. It's slick out there, hard. That ball bounces past Virgil. He can't control it. And there's Finley. Speed, pace, loves to get in behind the teams. He could open up and expose the back line of the Galaxy today.
He could be a game breaker for Real Salt Lake. Led them in goals during the regular season. At a dozen. Morales for Williams. The captain, Kyle Beckerman. Back for the veteran, Andy Williams. Will Johnson a bout of food poisoning. He was questionable for this, so we'll have to watch him. You wonder about stamina as this ball is deflected by Borchel and sent to Karofsky, who will send it the opposite way towards Buttle. On Will Johnson. And Johnson going hard after it. Beckham quickly, Karofsky. The rookie, Omar Gonzalez, now the youngest defender to start in an MLS Cup final, age 21. Borchers is back with a header. It's deflected. LA picks it up with McGee. In his first year with the Galaxy after years with the Metro Stars / Red Bulls. Borchers, the wing out of play. Throw-in for the Galaxy.
Got to keep an eye on David Beckham and Landon Donovan. They have been stretched out wide here to try to open up the game. Bruce Arena, different tactics. We'll see if they can get free space.
Michael on the ground to Karofsky. Borchers defends. Karofsky trying to slip through. Beckerman swept it away, trying to find Obsessian. It's all the way back to the veteran Berhalter, who had that game winner last week. Conference final against Houston. Burchell. Beckham. It's intended for McGee. Andy Williams, a Real Salt Lake original, the only one on this team right now. Too far towards Obsessian, but he'll catch up to it by the corner flag. And apparently that was out for a goal kick. We talked before about Will Johnson and the food poisoning. What's your experience with that? I know that's happened to you before in your career.
It has actually, when I was playing for the U.S. national team in Stanford Stadium against Costa Rica. It's a qualifier, and the night before, I had a little bit of chicken, got some salmonella. Will Johnson, the hardest thing for me at that time was just being the energy level, being committed. He's got to make sure he makes the right decisions, when to run and when to conserve his energy.
Ricketts. That was not a down. Galaxy get it back and give it away to Russell. Williams. He had Donovan all over him. Beckerman, nice play by the captain. He goes long. That was too long, apparently, for speedy Robbie Finley. 6 minutes scoreless between Real Salt Lake and the LA Galaxy. Beckerman, definitely a player to watch. Asked him yesterday who he worries about more, Beckham or Donovan. He said no question Donovan, because Donovan is a game breaker.
Yeah, it is, and his runs off the ball are just so decisive. It hurts any team. You got to keep an eye on him all the time.
Beckham brought it down, trying to go forward, blocked by Borchers. Borchers was named their team MVP this year. Beckerman's pass to Williams. On wide, Javi Morales, a good playmaker, their career assist leader. Will Johnson back to Borchers. Olave. Robbie Russell back to Olave. Borchers started every game for Real Salt Lake. Out wide it goes, and then back to Borchers. Williams. Real Salt Lake pretty much going side to side at the moment. Now it's Will Johnson tapping it to Russell. And all the way back to Nick Raimondo.
Already you've seen the Galaxy in a great shape at 4-4-2. Good discipline, trying to at least shut down those passing lanes and not have anything find Obsessian and Robbie Finley's feet.
Olave. Andy Williams. Can't give Andy Williams that kind of room. If you're the Galaxy, he finds Beckerman. The chip there. And they try to get through, and he almost did. But that was the danger initially of Andy Williams having that much time and space.
He initiates that play going forward. It's a driving ball that's played inside. But again, just see Finley. Any little mistake on this surface, and he's going to attack. He's going to get on top of it quickly.
Russell looking, trying to slip by. Cleared by LA. Headed forward by McGee. That was Olave to Johnson. Calmly back to Borchers. Real Salt Lake will drive this one right to Ricketts. Berhalter. Second oldest player to start in an MLS Cup final, Paul Caligiuri, the oldest at 37. throw in here for Real Salt Lake. There's Kevin Stott. Russell holds there. Plenty of fan support for each of these teams, but so many neutral fans here, at least at the start of the game, who are Sounders season ticket holders. They averaged over 30,000 a game this year to set an MLS record. Who will they support? We'll see. On McGee. Throw in LA.
Well, going back to the fan base, you know, they're such an educated fan base. They're going to support whoever's playing the best soccer. You know, they might just latch on to that.
Played long to Bundle. And Bundle will chase it down. McGee flicked it. Donovan holds it. That took a long time to develop. Kirovsky steps up. Donovan back after missing last week with an illness. Getting his starting job back as a left back. He'll curl it inside for Bundle. A header is wide. The goal kick coming up, but Bundle loved the service. 7 goals in 11 games played against Real Salt Lake in his career.
Yeah, and again, it's a great turn by Todd Donovan, who's back in the lineup. He was ill last week. And he's going to get around Andy Williams. If he doesn't apply that pressure, you're going to see Donovan try to take advantage of that space down the wing. It's a good serve in there. Edson Bartle. Always a threat in the air. He's hungry, isn't he?
He is. 5 goals during this season. We mentioned his success against Real Salt Lake in the past as Ramondo clears. Up towards Finley. Headed by Beckham for Bundle. Back towards David Beckham, the quick knock ahead. McGee. Into the middle. Williams, nice play ahead to Morales. The quick counter-attack, why not? But it's blocked. Still picked up though by Finley after Franklin made the play. And you couldn't hear the whistle, but Kevin Stott did blow it there.
We saw Berhalter, the hero last week, getting the first goal against Houston Dynamo. In that foul.
Free kick from long distance from Morales as Ricketts looks on.
Donovan Ricketts just yelling at Todd Donovan, saying, sit in front of me. Pick up any loose balls. It's very important on rebounds.
Morales. And that's going to be wide of Ricketts.
Wasted chance.
Talked earlier about David Beckham and a right foot injury. For more on that, downstairs to Alan Hopkins.
Thanks. Good evening to you, JP and John. Well, David Beckham's right foot bone bruise has been the big story all week. He did train yesterday on the synthetic surface. He did limp off practice with a bit of a gait problem, but today he's all good to go. I had a word with him in the tunnel before the players came out. He gave me a nod and a smile, and he said he's ready to go. JP?
Thanks, Alan. John, what's the biggest thing Beckham has to worry about today with that right foot?
Well, I think early on, if he gets a knock, I mean, and how, you know, if he gets whacked in there in a challenge, how it affects him throughout, especially in a cold game like this on a wet surface. You know, it's going to be difficult to see how he goes throughout the game, but I think he's healthy.
Donovan, long throw in for Bundle. He's held up there. He turns, trying to lay it off, and it was blocked. Corner kick, first one for LA. David Beckham is going to come over to take it. Surprisingly, David Beckham and the LA Galaxy, no success really. 1 goal scored off the last 118 corner kicks from Beckham. You can't blame Beckham, he puts it there.
No, that is an amazing stat. I mean, honestly, how could you not get on the end of his service that he provides? It's fantastic. Excellent balls that are whipped in the box. Gonzalez being the only one who scored the goal.
Beckham low. Will Johnson knocked it out. He'll get another try at it. Second corner here for LA.
And that's it's a teasing ball to the near post there, and it's always difficult for goalkeepers. See Beckham looking to change it up to the back post here.
Oh, the whistle blew. They went short first. Kevin Stott blows the whistle. Real Salt Lake's ball. Russell will put it back into play. Now they're going to bring it back.
Yeah, Russell's trying to advance the ball by 10 yards. It was an offside call. Beckham played it in, got it back.
The offside call gave possession back to Real Salt Lake. It goes back to Nick Raimondo. He's won an MLS Cup before with DC United back in 2004. He sent wide, far side. Brisk winger. His dad, a former player in the old NASL. Will Johnson, back for Borchers. Borchers holds there. Olave. Very solid back for Real Salt Lake off Finland. Beckerman. Whistle blows. Beckerman wanted the advantage call. They were going forward and Morales was open.
Well, Greg Berhalter has to be very careful because he's stepping up late here. Finley's pulling for the ball. Marcisian's making those diagonal runs to open up. Too many fouls early on. Kevin Stott's going to keep an eye on that.
Finley is blocked. Donovan. Flex free to McGee. Back for Landon Donovan, and the league MVP and Galaxy captain was shouldered off the field by Will Johnson, and it's a yellow card.
And Will Johnson's coming across from the opposite side of the field, left midfielder really, but swinging across, sees the threat from Landon Donovan with the pace Donovan has. And he just goes down the lane, pushes his ball by him. Will Johnson has no really opportunities to stop that ball initially, so he just got to slow down Donovan. That's the only way to do it, yellow card. But there's a threat when he's out wide, Landon.
On the side, that's Williams. Nice ball to Marcisian. Knocked away. It's Marcisian's last game in Major League Soccer. He'll be playing for a team called Randers in Denmark, joining them later sometime this winter. On the deflected ball, it'll be a throw-in for Real Salt Lake. It goes into Beckerman. Morales, and Beckham fouled him.
I didn't see the foul. I just saw a loose ball there, really. Morales had a tough time controlling his first touch. David Beckham just went in through the challenge. Morales down now.
Morales staying on the field. He's had a pretty good playoff. A disappointing regular season for him, bothered by injuries a good portion of the year compared to last year when he had a great season.
And what an important goal he did score, though, against Columbus Crew in that second leg. Got the first one on their comeback.
This is Morales. Real Salt Lake faced so many big games down the stretch, had a win each of the last 2 years. That last game against Colorado just to get to the playoffs. Then they knocked off the defending champs, Columbus. They beat Chicago in a one-game conference final on the road. And here they are trying to knock off another #1 seed as the offside flag is up on Robbie Finley. Morales, this could be really bad because you've already got Will Johnson suffering from a bout with food poisoning last night. He started tonight, and now you've got Morales, the key playmaker. He's hunched over and not moving at all. Right now, this will be chipped over towards Buttle. He was bumped down as the ball goes out of play, and Morales is limping badly.
You know, a couple of things as we look back at this challenge right here. Beckham, as he goes through the ball, he does catch him on the outside. But again, just the bigger picture thing in regards to what you just said, making substitutions early is not good. And Jason Kreis is his hands full now about making decisions. Clint Mathis could come off the bench. Nick Grabavoy could come off the bench. Well, a couple attacking options through the midfield.
Obviously, you only have 3, and he's got to be concerned that he can't know for sure how long Johnson can go.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and these players obviously on the sideline here, and what they're going to try to do is if he has to come off the field, Morales, he's going to try to delay as much as he can in order to give the subs a chance to get warmed up and get into the game.
And you might see them even playing with 10 men for a little bit. There are the available subs, the experienced Mathis, but it's Grabavoy who has been up warming up. At least he was the first guy warming up, and Grabavoy was the player we were told was going to start tonight if Will Johnson could not have gone.
Well, the thing is, too, the experience of Clint Mathis, and of course he could change the game when he wants to. Spindola being that other option, player that could definitely run at people.
Beckham's apologizing, or so it appears. Maybe maybe I'm reading too much into that. That's the way it looked. But Morales limps off, and he may just get more treatment on the sideline. Normally when a player knows that he's done, he will give more of a signal. So I'm thinking Morales might still want to come back in there. But in the meantime, Real Salt Lake has been given some extra time here to sort this out. And playing now with 10 men, with him out off the field, as players continue their warm-up. Donovan, as the game goes on, to Bundle. McGee, quick passing for Donovan, and took a real quick spin on this field turf.
Well, that again with the surface here, the field turf, it's going to be slick.
For more on Javi Morales and what's going on down there, Rob Stone, you have a better look, I assume.
Yeah, a look from about 2 feet away. Morales, when he came off, he kind of turned right around, ready to get back on the field. The medical staff came back over and said, you know what, let's sit down and let's actually test the strength of this left knee, and that's what they're doing right now. You know, you see it in football all the time. You know, you got to move it left, move it right, push it this way. Does it hold? Does it feel all right? There's some grimacing going on, and there's still some serious debating if he can continue.
Thank you, Rob, as David Beckham will get it back to Berhalter. Salt Lake playing with the 10 men, at least for now. And now Morales, with the referee's permission, is coming back in.
Well, he was given enough time to, you know, sometimes all you need is a few minutes for the pain to go away. I'll have to keep an eye on him as the game goes on.
Donovan. Back to Donovan. They were both on their last MLS Cup winning team in 2005. Donovan sends it all the way across. Franklin and Karofsky nearly ran into each other. And that allowed Will Johnson to get to the ball.
And then you see there, David Beckham's flown inside. Karofsky trying to take the outside of the midfield.
Oh, nice move by Moksisi, and then he stumbled. Maybe on the wet surface. That cost him against Omar Gonzalez, and Javi Morales is still struggling, as you can see. He just gave a wave like that might be it for him. That's too bad. Rob, do you have another update?
Yeah, Jason Christ and the bench are telling Javi, take a seat, just sit down, let this play stop. And it's going to be Clint Mathis, guys, coming on. How about that? Clint Mathis, former LA Galaxy member, one-time star of the U.S. national team, coming back in the title game.
Play against his former World Cup coach, Bruce Arena. Burchill, left side for Donovan. Donovan trying to sneak through. Nice play there by Andy Williams up the sideline. Stepping up as Berhalter against Finley. Beckham trying to get it back. Couldn't get through as Olave cleared it. Franklin. Berhalter. Left side for Donovan. And the whistle blows now from Kevin Stott as Morales is being told to get off. That's it. And you have to feel badly when a guy gets to MLS Cup playoff to the final here and he has to leave because of an injury like that so early in the game.
No, it's difficult. But, you know, it's always hard for everybody. The team itself already as a coach, a young coach, Jason Christ making that change, and here's the injury. As you look back again, got to catch his on the outside of the ankle. But overall, the big picture, you said Clint Mathis, being a former LA player coming on, he joins Finley. Remember, Finley was traded in 2007 too. So
what does that change do? Talk about the different player that Mathis is compared to the guy, Morales, who left.
Well, you see, Mathis, he has great vision and passing ability, but also is a lethal threat around the outside of the 18. He could score goals from anywhere. The only thing, too, defensively that makes a change is Will Johnson has to pick up some of that slack in Beckerman.
Normally when Mathis comes in, what happened there? Normally when Mathis comes in, it's for Andy Williams and kind of taking over that role. So you don't see those two guys often in there. The tears are not, I believe, from the pain, but more from having to come out of the game and the emotion of the game itself. But that's what it means to Javi Morales and to most players. You can see the tears on the field. Karofsky, Buttle, Donovan. So the first big play of the game has happened, John, and it's really an injury. It's not a great chance or a great save by either goalkeeper.
Well, normally you have to see from the first 5 minutes of how things adjust tactically now for Real Salt Lake with Clint Mathis being on the field. The responsibilities of the players to the midfield.
You had the feeling that Mathis was going to play today, but certainly not in the first half coming off the bench.
Well, the thing is, too, you look back to the Galaxy and the changes they made. You know, Chris Klein being the other guy that's off, he was such a professional, good, experienced player. And again, we take a look at Morales. You overcome with emotion here, and it's been very difficult when you're playing in a cup final. You work towards that, everything builds up, and then it's pulled out right from underneath you. An injury early on, and it's wrapped around his knee there. You see the ice.
It can be such an emotional game. Jason Price is a former player, only retired a few years, knows what that is like. With Morales out, Price has never gotten to an MLS Cup final as a player. He gets his team there as a coach. Ricketts. Upfield it goes, Buttle. Trying to leave it off. Mathis. Virgil on him. Beckerman. Look at that ball. Now the flag goes up on Finley. He's going to test that Galaxy back line, and he'll be offside a few times, but one time you're not careful, he's going to be on.
Well, the thing is, too, you know, the more offsides he is, there's two ways to look at it. Is he frustrating the rest of the team, or is he's always probing, looking to get in behind?
Karofsky and bounced. That's the danger in the first real half chance, we'll call it, in this game.
Well, it's really his first strike on goal, and Nick Raimondo has come up big throughout this postseason, the playoffs with penalties, but we know he's a good goalkeeper.
Mathis pass, he looks for Movsisian. Berhalter headed it down. That could have been danger. Ricketts slid all the way over together, the Jamaican international. Big signing. A lot of people didn't realize how big a signing it was. I think Bruce Arena realized it, but a lot of people around the league didn't really know how good a goalkeeper Donovan Ricketts would be.
Well, he proved a lot of experts wrong in this country, and he's been tremendous throughout the season from the start.
Gonzalez bounces back to Nick Raimondo. He rolled to Russell and then back to the 30-year-old goalkeeper. Berhalter knotted it down, but he gave it right back to Andy Williams. Beckerman. Looks for Finley, that was deflected away. Gonzalez. David Beckham. First time he's combined, I think, with Donovan. And what a great ball. And that was cut off by Fortress, just getting in front of Edson Buttle.
And Fortress does a good job of just positional sense, put himself in the right passing lane to stop that play. It's been like the silent captain for Real Salt Lake this year.
For Finley, LA doesn't like that one-on-one. Berhalter trying to just slow him down until help was coming. And he got the job done.
Well, again, you see Finley, and that's the danger right there that he offers against Greg Berhalter, the exposing. If you get exposed one-on-one, the speed is going to blow past you. And here it is, watch. Here he has 3 or 4 yards on him, but it doesn't matter to Finley. The main important thing is, though, the possessional sense, the understanding experience of Berhalter that helped him there to kind of show him why.
Gets that big goal last week against Houston and didn't even have a shot on goal the entire regular season. He's been very durable for this team and a big help to the rookie, Omar Gonzalez.
Yeah, the experience and just having those conversations, the little nuances in the game helped Gonzalez so much throughout the year. And really, last game for Berhalter, not only scoring the goal, but it was one of his best defensive games throughout that 90 minutes that he played.
Surprised at all it took 25 minutes for the first shot on goal?
Well, it's tight. Normally through games like this, it's a cup final. They've got to battle it out through the midfield.
Donovan just got knocked down. Foul was called.
Well, no, actually it was a corner, I think, JP. Oh. They're saying that it was a shoulder charge, but it came off of Olave's foot as it went out for a corner.
You're right, they're still discussing it, but it is a corner. Third one.
I'm not sure if he got it right. No, it's definitely a goal kick. Landon's claiming that he played it off from that angle. It was a good camera angle. It didn't happen.
Beckham's cross. It's loose. There was a chance for the Galaxy.
It's such a dangerous ball from David Beckham. He puts it just inside the 6-yard box. And here's the runs that make the difference. The two players, Gonzalez is going for it, Verhalter, and there's the confusion. Nick Raimondo looks like he's going to come. He hesitates. He's nowhere near that ball. And really, it's a bit fortunate for Real Salt Lake. No Galaxy player was there to compete with it, put it in the back of the net. Gonzalez had the closest chance. He was the one who was on the back post.
Mathis just gets called for that foul. The veteran just kind of holds on to the ball so his team can get set up defensively.
You'll see Gonzalez come forward quite a bit on set pieces. They'll pick and choose, but again, Beckham, so dangerous. You would think that the Galaxy would capitalize on the service.
He's played in 3 World Cups, hopes to play in a 4th next year for England as he curls it inside. Dorofsky was looking for it. He may have pushed off.
You know, at some point, we talk about the tactics and the changes that have been made from the start. David Beckham serves that ball in, but at some point, I'd like to see Landon Donovan be more in a central role because he's such a dangerous player in that part of the field.
ESPN's Monday Night Football continues tomorrow in Houston. The revived Tennessee Titans going up against the high-powered Texans. It's on ESPN's Monday Night Football. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Will Johnson, right side, Russell. Back to Olave. Real Salt Lake tried to go long a time. Towards Finley. Donovan slides it over to Beckham in the middle of the advantage call. Beckham looks for Buttle. Just missed Donovan on the return. Donovan now ends up on the opposite side of the field chasing. This is Mobsician. Blocked. Galaxy get it back. Good idea to Burchell, but Beckman was more aggressive on it. Now the whistle will stop play again. Real Salt Lake, quick free kick from Williams. Mathis. And that's blocked. Beckham to McGee, who went down, and Williams fouled McGee. Half hour gone, still scoreless in this MLS Cup final. Your thoughts in the first half hour?
Well, right now, the main concern, I think, for that central part of the midfield is going to be tinkering with it. How much of a challenge is it for the Galaxy to shut down Kyle Beckerman? He's getting a lot of space right now. He hasn't distributed too much in the last 10 minutes. But also, when is the ball going to really get up to the front players like Beckham and McGee and link up?
Franklin will cross it. Landon Donovan will pick it up. 3 goals in the playoffs. Right to Buttle. He chested it down. Borowski couldn't come around on it. Franklin stays up for it. Wingert off the left foot will clear it. Donovan needed to get that wider to Beckham, who was open, but Will Johnson was able to pick it off. And here's Kyle Beckerman. Long for Mobsician, headed away. So Burchell coming back to Franklin. Kirovsky, Beckham, Verhalter. Finding Franklin last year's Rookie of the Year. This year it was Omar Gonzalez, so back-to-back for the Galaxy. The sideline, Burchell has bumped off the ball. Quick throw in. And it belonged to Real Salt Lake. He'll have it again. 32nd minute. Real Salt Lake has already had to make a substitution with Javi Morales injured. Quick shot was by the veteran Williams that missed the target. The veteran hoping to lead his team to their first ever MLS Cup title in this their 5th year of existence against David Beckham's side, the Galaxy. Here's the ESPN player track. What does it show you?
Well, look, right now, it looks like David Beckham likes to go inside and find the game as much centrally from the heat right there. If he does that, then really it's a balancing act throughout the midfield. Who's the opposite player who's going to shift out to that wide right? As he tries to find the game, it's making sure that the Galaxy are always communicating through that midfield.
Donovan with a flick towards Donovan. And that was Cut off by Russell. Flag was up anyway on the far side of the field. 33rd minute. We talked before at the top of the show about Donovan playing wide on the left, Beckham playing wide on the right side. How has that worked out for Bruce Arena? In the previous games, Beckham was more central.
No, he was central, but I think a lot of teams, they like to shut him down there in the passing lane so he doesn't get to turn around and face up and find Landon Donovan. When he drifted out wide, well, he could find the space and then play those hurting diagonal balls in behind. And so far, we haven't seen him get a lot of that space, so I'm wondering if he's going to try to find the game even in a wider position and stay out there with discipline, you know.
Sean Franklin kept it on the ground off Donovan. Skips free to Russell. Bobby Russell played overseas in 3 different countries before coming back to America. Now it's Beckerman. Wingert. Beckerman advances. Beckham trying to take it away. Kyle Beckerman, nice play there. To Andy Williams. Look at this ball coming through, the flag's up on Finley. But again, he tried to beat that LA backline. 3rd time he's been offside.
Well, again, that's the thing. He's always trying to stretch the defense and make them concerned and worry about him getting in behind. And as the ball falls in here, here's a little bit of a scramble through the midfield. David Beckham's trying to apply pressure here, but still Real Salt Lake gains that possession. They play it through.
Headed away by Johnson, but he gave it back to Franklin. Sean Franklin for David Beckham. That's blocked. Up in the air, the big rookie Gonzalez. It's knocked away by Wingert. Had some help there on the sideline. Galaxy get it back. Karofsky to Berhalter. Back to Karofsky. Beckerman for Borchers. Mathis. Away. Russell. Here is Mathis, who began his career with the Galaxy before traded to New York, where he had a long and very good career. Here's McGee. Slowed down by Will Johnson. On the deflection. Nearly pouncing on that was Landon Donovan. It goes all the way back to the feet of Raimondo. Over the halfway line. Wanted Williams. Berhalter strong in the air. Borchers knocks it down for Beckerman. Will Johnson, look at the room he has there. Takes it farther upfield. Swinging on the outside. Trying to bend it inside. That was Gonzalez knocking it away to Franklin. Good poise from the rookie.
Well, it was a good cover as well. His positional sense was excellent, Omar Gonzalez, because it needed to be.
Buttle left it for Donovan. Maybe a chance for the Galaxy. McGee is coming on the left side. Hit in the box. McGee the shot. He missed the far post. He had Donovan and Bubble as well in good position.
Well, it's great counterattack. The transition was fast from the LA Galaxy. And Landon Donovan really picks it up as a dangerous situation right in the midfield. That's what I tell you, Landon Donovan is more dangerous when he's central. And he picks this up. He draws the player like he should. Lays it out to McGee. And he strikes it to a dangerous spot in the field. But look at the man on the back post. Almost getting there was Edson Buttle. A little bit of foreshadowing what you could see from the Galaxy when Landon drifts from outside to in.
Beckham was the one that started it initially.
And the concern, though, comes from the Galaxy is if David Beckham's doing that on the right side and Landon's doing it on the left, then who's defending on the outside? That's where you get those open gaps for the Real Salt Lake players to come forward.
This ball rolls deep. Look at the high pressure from Finley against Berhalter. Better
well.
play. Yeah, did well. Wasn't going to lose the ball there. Bruce Arena trying to be the only coach in MLS history to win 3 MLS Cups. This is his 4th appearance. That's tied for the most with Stevie Nicol and Ziggy Schmidt. And Jason Kreis could become the youngest coach to ever win an MLS Cup trophy. He looks young enough that he could still be playing. He hasn't even aged. And remember, he didn't have many caps for Bruce Arena back then. He was critical a little bit about not getting opportunities, but he has since then. Bruce has helped him a lot since he's become a coach. Since Jason joined the coaching ranks with Real Salt Lake. Here's Karofsky.
Great ball by Beckham.
Franklin cutting it back, but he gave it away to Will Johnson. Borchers. Salt Lake under some pressure from Franklin, but it belongs to Salt Lake.
It's better that he did that. If he's going to be in an advanced position up the field and he's not going to get back and defend, then you might as well apply the pressure where the ball is.
Beckerman to the outside. Here's Karofsky looking for Donovan. Gets a step behind Borchers, and that was a tough one for him to control and get on goal. He had the goal of the year, so you never want to count him out from anywhere when he's shooting. Let's go downstairs to Alan Hopkins.
Thanks, JP. Well, you and John were talking about Landon Donovan being more effective in a central position. Bruce Arena has actually switched McGee. He's playing wide on the left, going against Robbie Russell. Donovan is now central up top, and you already see how much more dangerous the attack is for the Galaxy. JP?
Thanks, Alan. It's looked better the last several minutes. Here's Buttle. Cutting. Holding it. Help is coming. It's Donovan. Gains the end line. There's the cross. Headed away. And it will roll on a play. Russell was the one who knocked it out. Burchell lost it to Mathis and then fouled him. And now Mathis is hurting. And a yellow card to Burchell. Joining Will Johnson in that category. Second one awarded by Kevin Stott.
Well, again, they try to reset this and play quickly with the throw-in from Edson Buttle into Burchell, and I'm not trying to have a go at him, but look, his first touch lets him down. It becomes a touch and tackle that players talk about all the time. Puts himself in a bad spot there. 50-50 with Clint Mathis.
Russell, Andy Williams, Will Johnson with Donovan on him. Back for Andy Williams. On the ground off Finley. And then it hit on Berhalter. Beckham. Look at that early. Wow. Donovan runs on to it. Butler. He's open in the flag shot. Offside. Play continues. And then finally, the whistle.
Wow. I want to see that again because I'll tell you right now, Edson Buttle looked like he held his run just enough. And the replay always helps us in the booth here from Rome, but great speed. This was just a lucky ball because Beckham tried to put that actually in front with the speed of Landon. Well, he got to that ball behind Borchers.
McGee to Beckham. LA on the attack again. Beckham's ball. Donovan! McGee! LA leads! Mike McGee has scored.
Well, it's excellent combination from the Galaxy. Just as they get the offside call, now they start it again. And here's an excellent ball played out wide. David Beckham to land. Look at this ball that's played into the back post. Fantastic. McGee, all he has to do is make sure that he's calm and poised, and he makes great contact. The technique's there. The ball is everything. If the delivery doesn't come in like that, you don't have a chance. And what a great ball it was. The Galaxy on the score sheet in the first half, 1-0. Beckham, Donovan, right to the back post, McGee.
Donovan and Beckham getting assists. Alan Hopkins talked about the difference with the move of Donovan there. And over the last 5, 6, 7 minutes, they've been the better team offensively.
Well, it's like France when they played against Brazil in the '98 Cup final. They were interchanging so many different positions. Players filled in well, and that's what the Galaxy is kind of doing here. The player moves inside, the other player has to cover for him out.
How challenging is that for Real Salt Lake to defend against?
Well, it's challenging because now they're saying, who's going with this man? Are you staying with him, or are you getting a player pulled out of his own position? Now they're not in the comfort zone anymore. They have to make quick decisions, communicate very well. The Galaxy right now have the upper edge right now, the advantage.
Remember, Real Salt Lake will not count themselves out. See McGee's second playoff goal. Real Salt Lake was trailing 2-0 in Columbus and ended up winning that game in the aggregate. After Scalotto had scored 2 goals to seemingly put Columbus in the driver's seat in Columbus.
Right, and we saw the response from Real Salt Lake at that point. And now the thing is, you've got to look at Real Salt Lake. How quickly can they bounce back from that goal?
Franklin lost it there. Kyle Beckerman up towards Movsisian. Foul was called on LA. Will Johnson put it back into play quickly. Movsisian has it. Looks for Finley. And that's headed wide of Donovan Ricketts. That's great Burhall through the veteran right there. Good positioning. Good leader, or vocal leader back there for LA. Throw in for Russell. McGee. Real Salt Lake will hold, and then Williams thought Russell was going to draw back. Instead, he was going forward. They lose the ball.
Well, again, you know, Mike McGee, so familiar with Bruce Arena, coached him with the Red Bulls, and there's Mike McGee probably giving him the reward back, saying, you trust and believe in me? Well, here you go, and he's happy.
He scored in that first leg against Chivas USA, and now scores here. This one was much bigger.
Well, it was huge, actually, because in training yesterday, he said, Arksy, I just want to get one chance around the goal. And that's an excellent ball that's delivered in there from Landon Donovan.
It's another guy Bruce Arena brought in from New York. And he's made it work.
Well, and it's his second cup final in a row. He was with the Red Bulls in the final where they lost 3-1 to Columbus last year. But he didn't get a chance to play, did he? So he's excited for this opportunity.
Edson Buttle on the left. Over crew forward. And that was a physical collision there as the ball went out of play. Belongs to Nick Raimondo and Real Salt Lake. We're in the final minute of the first half, but with that injury to Morales earlier, there's got to be, you would think, several minutes put up here in stoppage time. Russell with McGee on him. All the way to Borchers. LA with a 1-goal lead. McGee scored it. Beckham and Donovan assisting.
The shape so far for the Galaxy in the back line, they've done a really good job of limiting the amount of opportunities for Real Salt Lake.
Franklin clipped Beckerman.
You see these fouls, JP? The other thing is, too, they're disrupting play. They're trying to really, throw Real Salt Lake off their game. We know so much is being created for Real Salt Lake in this postseason, in the playoffs, through the midfield. So far, they're trying to shut that down as soon as they can.
Surprisingly, just 2 minutes of stoppage time. Williams is on the ball.
Well, communication has to be vital right here because the Galaxy cannot afford to give this up.
Inside, Mathis! That could have been a tying goal. Borchers was the one that got it forward.
Yeah, and it's an excellent ball in from Williams. Now Borchers really finding a space. Good strength for him to battle for that ball.
Beckham's pass ahead on the right. Well, Salt Lake is doing some arguing as Donovan is a player down. And everybody's looking for a call that's not coming. And we play on. Nearly a minute gone in stoppage time. Galaxy trying to take this lead into the locker room at the half. Real Salt Lake to the feet of Finley. He's doubled up there on the far wing. Low cross in. Shot over. Movsisian was there. Andy Williams is looking for a pass. Movsisian wants to think shot first, and why not? He's a good finisher.
Well, he's very creative, and he's unpredictable, and those are the things. You give him half a chance, and he's going to hurt you. He doesn't get this one on the frame, but he does find the ball. He's very hungry. He sniffs it out.
About a half minute to go here. Ricketts will put it back into play. He's in no hurry. Donovan Ricketts towards Buttle. Russell. Right side Williams. Clock strikes 2 minutes of stoppage time. Kevin Stott is looking to watch. Still looking at it. And as he talks to David Beckham, he blows the whistle on the first half. John Harkes, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, the Galaxy imposed themselves on Real Salt Lake, and it took the two experienced players on the field, the big-time players, Beckham and Donovan, to put it into the pathway of Mike McGee. Great finish at the back post.
McGee is the lone goal scorer coming up on the Axe halftime report. Plenty of things to discuss as we'll turn things over to Rob Stone, Alexi Lalas, and Julie Foudy, a first half analysis. And then special guest Casey Keller, who had a magnificent year with the expansion Seattle Sounders. Mike McGee has the lone goal in this one. David Beckham, Landon Donovan the assist. Will the Galaxy win another title? They're only halfway to the MLS Cup at the moment.
For over 20 years, Visa has helped athletes achieve their dreams and get to the Olympic Games. Now, we're going to help you get there. When you use your Visa card, right now you have a chance to win a trip to the Vancouver 2010 Games. We hope to see you there. Visa, the only card accepted at the Olympic Games. More people go with Visa.
Chopper Dave here. Traffic is at a standstill. What's the holdup?
Looks like they're thinking Arby's. Thinking about Arby's Market Fresh Reuben, made with Montreal-style seasoned smoked beef, piled high on thick-cut toasted marble rye, with Thousand Island spread and real Swiss cheese. The Market Fresh Reuben is just at Arby's, and it's just $4.99.
25 minutes of play. We take you to yesterday. This was a famous fish toss. Hype place. That's Alan Gordon. Chris Seitz also helped out. Who's that guy? John Hart's catching a fish over my head. Why was I in that skit? That was a crazy day. I can't believe I did it. Can't believe you caught the fish, but it's part of the atmosphere here in Seattle.
It was so much fun, and that's such a traditional thing they do down there at the Pike, you know, the restaurant, and it's fantastic. It was good to catch the fish. I had good hands, but very proud of you, JP, to get in there with the fish. He has a fear of fish eyes.
But now we're here for business. We have to talk about tactical changes. Real Salt Lake made a change they didn't want to make. Nothing to do with tactics. Morales was injured. What can they do now? Well,
it hurt them early on to make a sub like that. Morales coming off was a difference. Now I think they have to bring on either a Grabavoy or a Spindle to change the game.
And we'll see how they approach it here in the second half of play. They need a goal. And then Grabavoy is on the field.
Well, there you go. There's the answer. And, you know, Jason Kreis, we talked about him being a young coach, but big decisions being made, and he puts Grabavoy on to start this second half. He's kind of a two-way player. We'll see where he positions himself, if it's in front of winger, or does he tuck inside and defend as well.
Now, we'll try to get word from Real Salt Lake, because that might be because of Will Johnson, the food poisoning. Maybe he couldn't go anymore. Grabavoy might have come in anyway, but perhaps not for Johnson. We'll try to find out.
Well, just to let people know that in the last game against Chicago Fire, Ned Grabavoy, it went to penalty kicks. He was the winner. He was the one who put them through to the final.
Only played a minute. They brought him in. 4 penalties. And he succeeded. Beckham with it. Talk about Real Salt Lake and what they could do to change things. How about the Galaxy? They have a 1-0 lead. How do they play it in the second 45?
Well, I think, again, the all-important key is how David Beckham and Landon Donovan play. And centrally right now, we're seeing Landon Donovan find the game, sit in the hole as almost like a second striker there with Buttle. And McGee's gone out to the left-hand side.
Chris Winger's pass. In the meantime, Galaxy have made no changes, and Real Salt Lake have had to make a couple. Side it goes.
You know, the other thing tactically too, from Real Salt Lake's point of view, wow, look at this. And he's onside too.
Down the wing against Ricketts. The speed of Finland is trying to tie it up, and Ricketts came out and he's hurt. Play continues. 2 players down, but the concern has to be for Donovan Ricketts in a collision with Robbie Findlay.
Well, how quickly did they really explode? And that's Findlay to pace. He gets in behind. But the collision there from the big touch from Findlay as he cut inside, and the 50-50 challenge. Wow. That was a lot of power going against each other. And Donovan Ricketts, the Jamaican international goalkeeper, he had to be strong, and he had to commit to the ball. Was he onside will be the question from the Galaxy's point of view. There's that big touch and the 50-50 challenge. Here it is. He cuts inside. Donovan Ricketts has to cut the angle down as a goalkeeper, which he does well, and he lunges there. But also, Is the injury coming from Gonzalez, his own player, as he tries to recover back towards goal?
Well, if you're wondering, Donovan Ricketts' backup is Josh Saunders, who had a terrific year as the backup and has had to come in on a couple of occasions to replace Ricketts when he got hurt in games. But you don't want to have to make that change unless you obviously have to. By the way, we have confirmed with Real Salt Lake's officials that Will Johnson did leave because of illness, so we're not sure whether or not Grabavoy would have come in at that point, but we do know that it was because of illness. So poor Jason Kreis has had to make 2 subs, taking off 2 of his best players when he didn't want to take off either one.
Well, it becomes difficult. Timing is everything, right? And you want to seize the opportunity. It's all about carpe diem. The players on the field, they make the difference. The managers, well, they tactically make the difference themselves, but players have to be available to play.
Robbie Finley seems to be okay there, but the worst of it went to Ricketts.
Well, again, as he comes inside, Ricketts, he makes a quick decision, but there's Gonzalez as he comes back towards his own goal. And I think he's the one who caught him first. And then the collision was
a good
between
angle.
Ricketts, and Robbie Finley. Robbie Finley being, there's Gonzalez right there. Rookie of the Year, Omar Gonzalez from University of Maryland.
Led the team in minutes as a rookie. Incredible year for him. Last year, he and A.J. De La Garza won the College Cup with the University of Maryland. Could he win an MLS Cup a year later? Wow. He's halfway there, but there's a long way to go in this one. Let's get a report on Donovan Ricketts. Alan Hopkins, what have you learned?
Thanks, JP. I got a great view. The medical training staff of the LA Galaxy looking at the right hand of Donovan Ricketts in that collision with Robbie Finley. Finley, like he hurt his right knee. He's okay, no worse for wear. But right now, they're trying to figure out the 4th and 5th metacarpal in his right hand to see if there's really injury there. But Donovan Ricketts right now, the pain on his face shows that this is a severe knock he took to his right hand. JP?
Thank you, Alan. Obvious concern for Ricketts, especially if it is the hand, as you see Josh Saunders. That's his record. It's been a good one. The team has confidence in him. They talked about him playing well in goal this year. They talked about Ricketts, obviously, as their #1 guy, but confidence in Saunders, who last played on August 19th. 5-minute appearance as a sub versus Chicago. That's the game we televised where Ricketts had to come out with an injury in a game that the Galaxy won. How's that for a nice graphic? No goalkeeper's ever been removed from an MLS Cup final. Donovan Ricketts is saying to us he doesn't want to be the first.
No, definitely not. He's done so well this year. Huge signing from Bruce Arena. He wanted to make sure that he got the defense sorted out early on when he started as a head coach for the Galaxy. They chose Ricketts, and he's done very well.
Well, now you got to see if it is the hand, to see what happens here, how he plays it with confidence if a shot comes at him.
Well, that's the thing. Well, that's a good point, JP, actually. From Real Salt Lake's point of view, they want to get strikes on goal. They want to test Ricketts and see what he has to offer.
Borchers, Franklin on the intercept. Mike McGee, who has the game's only goal. Left side, Donovan. For Donovan. Against Olave. And Olave had better positioning there. Wins the ball back for his team.
Well, Olave is just such a beast. He does well to read the play. It's an excellent ball out of the back there from Donovan, trying to find Landon Donovan. Those runs from inside to out, JP, those are really the key to Landon Donovan, how successful he can be. MVP of the league this year, first time, right?
First time in his brilliant career. You would have thought he would have won one by now.
He's won 6 U.S. Soccer Federation Player of the Year, so he's got plenty of Honda cars.
He does. Right side, Beckham with a flick, and Wingers with a hard foul. Just a warning, though.
Well, you see David Beckham there.
It's good to be able to smile after that.
And Winger, you know, he commits to the play right away. Of course, you're playing against one of the best players. You got to get tight to David Beckham. You don't want to allow him space to create. He's got to be careful that he's not overzealous in the effort, though.
Beckham at least saw it coming as Burchell headed it forward. McGee turning for Donovan. Karofsky. Burchell lost it on the first touch. Plumble recovered it. Thought about shooting it from there. Finds Beckham instead. Beckham tapped it to Franklin. Gave him a tough pass. Franklin hustles and bumps after it, and he's going to be called for the foul.
again, here's David Beckham. He knows he's going to get a lot of attention, right? He's having a little chuckle to himself, like, all right, here we go. You know, he's got that wild mop of a hairstyle as well. Always known for drawing attention to himself, fashionista off the field. But what a great player he is on the field. Good vision and skill, and he's healthy.
115 caps for England. He's going to be back with AC Milan, but he had a conversation with you. What did he tell you about coming back?
He said, John, I want to come back. I know there's been a lot of rumors out there, people saying I'm staying away from the game. I'm committed here. My family likes it here. I want to be here in MLS.
Told that to you the other day in training, which is good to hear. Right now, though, he wants to just win an MLS Cup for his Galaxy team. Beckerman. And that was telegraphed. Then Franklin was fouled on that side. As that ball went out anyway. It's going to be probably just a throw-in, but Franklin's hurting. On cold nights like this, every foul hurts a little bit more.
Now here, Sean Franklin, you want to be able to either get this into Beckham's feet or over the top to Edson Buttle. Start opening up some space there. Borch is very tight on Edson Buttle.
Tapped ahead. Urim of Sisian on the chase, and that's too far for him. The field of 32 is set for the 2010 FIFA World Cup. Now, who will make up the 8 groups in South Africa with 3 teams will the United States play? It's the World Cup Draw Show. Watch it Friday, December 4th, noon Eastern on ESPN2. Finally, we have all the 32 teams, despite some controversy with France and a Thierry Henry handball. Looking forward to the draw to see who the U.S. will be in with. Here's Russell. Back to 11. Out wide right. Real Salt Lake down by 1. On Franklin. Williams goes after it.
Good clearance under pressure there. Jovan Karofsky's done well.
Donovan trying to bounce free. Good move, good ball. Franklin has Beckham alone. David Beckham, the cross is coming. It's in low, too low. As it turns out, Real Salt Lake will get it. Galaxy have to know that a second goal might be enough at this stage of the game to put Real Salt Lake away, but the danger is in coming back and giving up space to Real Salt Lake when you have Finley and Mobsisian out there in the field.
Oh, absolutely. Perfect example would be the Columbus Crew. You know, they were up, Columbus Crew were up 2-0 at home, and then all of a sudden, Real Salt Lake come back, and they needed that to wake them up. They need to come out and play, and they did. They came back, and they ended up winning 3-2, 4-2 on the aggregate.
Wingert is wide open here on the left, right between the benches. Down the sideline.
Great ball. Very nice.
Good idea. Well, Grabavoy. And Grabavoy won an MLS Cup in 05 with his Galaxy team. It goes inside, and the flag is up on Andy Williams. The ball belongs to the Galaxy. Real Salt Lake really haven't tested Donovan Ricketts since that injury, that collision with Finley and his own teammate Omar Gonzalez. So who knows if Ricketts is A-OK.
Well, he seems to be okay. I mean, the one good thing, too, is he brings loads of experience. You know, at times he knows how to slow down the game, does dictate the pace. The rhythm from the goalkeeper and the distribution is so important.
Karofsky. McGee. Marshall. He tried to get it. Beckerman. Mathis. David Beckham came back to win it for Franklin. Sean Franklin laid it off for Beckham. He puts it up there for Donovan, who got crushed by Olave. And this is not what you want to do for Real Salt Lake. Give a free kick here to a David Beckham team.
Well, again, it's the work rate of David Beckham because he always wants to be around the ball. And he gets it from Franklin. It's the teasing ball into Landon Donovan, who's moved to a central position now as a second striker. And this comes down to, I'll tell you what, there was a lot of free kicks from David Beckham.
Free kick here for David Beckham. With Berhalter right beside him.
Well, he's going to try to put put this one over the wall. What David Beckham has done in the past, though, is he tries to catch the goalkeeper, who may anticipate the ball going over the wall, but he hits it to the goalkeeper's side. Nick Ramondo's got to be quick here to make a decision.
A couple years ago, Beckham had a 2-goal game against Ramondo. One came on a free kick. This is about 23 or so yards away. It's Beckham on top of the wall.
Well, it's off the wall. It's off of Andy Williams. The encroachment, and that's what David Beckham's asking Kevin Stott. Did he come towards the ball before actually played it? You see there's him jumping into the ball. And that was where Beckham is actually looking to hit that to the goalkeeper's side.
Throw in for Omar Gonzalez. Expect the long one. In towards Buttle. It's won by Real Salt Lake. Burchell comes back and wins it. It's off Donovan and out of play for a throw-in for Real Salt Lake's Wingert. ESPN 2's coverage of men's college basketball continues Monday night for the CD Classic. 7:30 Eastern, Wichita State faces Pittsburgh. 9:30 Eastern, number 3 Texas takes on Iowa. The O'Reilly Auto Parts CBE Classic is part of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's on ESPN 2 Monday.
Well, right there, you just saw Real Salt Lake give away a ball outside. A pass from Olave. It really shouldn't be a turnover at that point.
Burchell sent that one in. Ramondo has it. Real Salt Lake trailing by a goal. They won only 2 games on the road all season, but were able to win on the road in the playoffs. So the road hasn't bothered them at this stage. Finley. Beckerman. Got it through. A chance. Mobsisian stumbled. Ricketts came out and blocked it. That was big time. Mobsisian was looking for an equalizer. He had help there in the box as well as Ricketts came out. It didn't appear to be against Mobsisian.
And you saw Clint Mathis. He was actually arguing the call. And here's the first touch. It comes inside big. He's going to prepare the challenge from behind. Burchell, I believe, from that angle. And the claims for a penalty were all the Real Salt Lake players and even off the bench. So here, does he make enough contact for the...
It's a clumsy challenge at best, right?
Yeah, Kevin Stott under pressure there, Real Salt Lake, and even Clint Mathis picked the ball up and started arguing with him, so it's a free kick as a handball. Clint Mathis, Jason Christ as well, asking for the penalty.
61st minute. Galaxy continue to lead. Runnel with a blatant push. Belongs to Salt Lake. Had a tough night, having to replace 2 players, one to injury, Morales, one to illness, Will Johnson, who had a bout of food poisoning the night before. But they got him ready to play in this one, and he only could go 45. That's the Buttle and Nat Borchers holding on to each other. Kevin Stott lets it go as they're both holding on. Tough to know who's doing most of it, but that was pretty easy to call. Mathis wanted more, apparently. Perhaps a card, but can't worry about that.
Well, as the game goes on and the pressure on all the players to get involved, getting chippy out in the field, and it's all happening now. The chaos is coming. It's a final. Bruce Arena, I'm sure right now he's saying Edson Buttle needs to keep his head.
Andy Williams with that pass. Now it's Beckerman. This is a good ball out wide. Still is up. Headed once. Beckham calmly played it back to Franklin. All the way the other end towards Ramondo. He almost misplayed that. Couldn't handle it outside the box and almost put himself in a difficult position. Borchers to Wingert. Real Salt Lake trying to get back into this. Just down by 1. 63rd minute, Mike McGee has the game's only goal for the Galaxy. 44th minute.
And the reason he got that goal is because he actually switched with Landon Donovan, went out to the left side midfield position, and Donovan and Beckham, well, 2 of the brightest stars in this league, the big gamers, they made the difference, huh? They created that goal. It was very well done.
series. It's obviously why they're the favorite. Forget the regular season record. You've got the 2 best players on the field in Donovan and Beckham, 2 of the very best in the league.
Well, and they're used to playing in pressured situations. The poise and the calm on the day in those events, those are the players that really shine.
Beckerman, who steps up for Real Salt Lake. They need one. Grabovoy. Inside. Finley on the turn. Almost got it through it. Now he might. Movsisian looks. Blocked. Deflected to Finley. He tied the game. The ex-Galaxy striker makes it 1-1.
Well, we saw Real Salt Lake do this against Columbus and come back from being goals down, and they're showing it again in the Cup final. Robbie Finley, the ex and former LA Galaxy at 2007, he was traded. He picks up a scramble here, and it's bouncing around, and he is just an opportunist. Look at this. The ball falls to him perfectly, and he buries it. And it's just the persistence of both players. Movsisian involved as well. And there it is from Finley. He wanted revenge. He said that. I got a chance to play against the team who traded me away. The Galaxy in 2007. And so far, well, he's put his team back on the team sheet, 1-1.
3rd playoff goal for Robbie Finley. It's a huge goal. Ties it up here. Ricketts is hurting. It's the right hand that Alan Hopkins reported on when he was in that injury. And Kevin Stott's coming over to check it. Interesting.
Well, decision-making time now for Bruce Arena. They're going to consult with the trainer to see what Donovan Ricketts is like. It looks like he's walking off the field already.
Bruce Arena just gave a substitution sign for the bench.
Well, he has to. Ricketts is walking off the field, so he's already... But again, the goal, Finley, it's not cleared properly by the Galaxy. Here's the rebound. And you're going to get hurt when you have players like that. Strikers are just pouncing on it.
And you wonder, we'll find out what we can on the sideline, but you wonder whether Ricketts just feels like he couldn't make a play with that right hand down there. If he injured it again when he went to the ground. But now it's Josh Saunders who must face this pressure. Alan Hopkins, what can you tell us?
JP, Donovan Ricketts has been diagnosed with a right hand contusion. He just walked past me. That right hand is swollen already. The pain too much to bear. Josh Saunders on. Remember, he's had a very good season as well, deputizing for Ricketts. He's got his own long, lengthy shutout streak this season, but certainly he probably didn't expect to be in this position in the MLS Cup final today, JP.
I'm sure he didn't. But now he must deal with this. And how does a goalkeeper of all players get warm physically, get warm mentally?
Well, the best thing that can happen to Josh right now is if he actually gets a shot on goal and he makes the save and feels comfortable. The quicker he gets involved, the better it is for him to settle down. And, you know, really the nerves as a young player coming into a situation like this can be very difficult.
Imagine if Bruce Arena had used all 3 of his subs. He hadn't used any. If that was the case, a field player would have had to gone in. So the first sub for LA, coaches have had to make subs today that they just didn't want to make. Injury and illness for Real Salt Lake. Injury for the Galaxy. 1-1 game here. Can the underdogs pull off yet another upset? Real Salt Lake fans are hoping so. We're told some 1,500 to 2,000 of them made it here. Some by plane, some by bus. We're told some 14 hours on a bus trip. Last 10 minutes, what's happened with the possession? Real Salt Lake, huge edge.
They came out the second half. You know, we saw that Chivas USA played the Galaxy, and the Chivas came out the second half of the one match, and they did very well. Look at this.
What a pass to Beckham, and then at the glass.
That looked like a handball. That looked like it came off the hand of Olave.
Corner kick number 4 for the Galaxy.
So again, I was just saying the possession has changed here, but again, all it takes is one opportunity. We've seen Beckham take these corners all year long. Only 1 goal for the Galaxy on all of his corner kicks.
And the cross headed wide and tapped in, and then Borchers swept it away.
Now the handball there is an attempt for a bicycle kick from the Rookie of the Year, Omar Gonzalez.
Donovan Ricketts, like Javi Morales, has to watch as a spectator.
There's been so much that's happened in this final. Players that can't play, are they fit? Changing at the last moment, the tactical lineups. It's all about who seizes it on the day. Carpe diem.
Galaxy played up to Beckham. He nodded it down. Burchell laid off towards Beckham. Cut off there, and then Beckham cut off Mathis. Now on Beckham and the Galaxy. Downstairs to Rob Stone.
Well, guys, all you need are your ears to know what's going through Jason Kreis's mind right now. The last 15 minutes, his voice, the energy has picked up immensely. You can kind of feel the momentum swinging back to Salt Lake, and that's before that goal. Also, guys, just about a minute and a half ago, he had one of those, on his knees powwow with his assistant coaches. It looks like they're mulling using that third and what would be their final sub in the next few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Ron. They've got to think about maybe overtime at some point, maybe penalties. So it'll be tough to use another sub and burn them all at this point, but we also don't know if there's somebody else injured or sick out there as Beckerman cuts it off towards Movsisian.
You saw the direct ball there from Kyle Beckerman. They love to do that. Get it up front to the two strikers. Route 1 soccer. The pace is up front. We've talked about how they can really expose the back line to the Galaxy, but look at this. Not enough pressure in midfield.
Russell had a ton of room there. Movsisian. But it all started with Russell. Movsisian, that's tackled away. LA has given up way too much space here. They're allowing all this possession from a dangerous Real Salt Lake team. Only Dallas scored more goals during the regular season than Real Salt Lake. They were tied for second with DC in terms of goals scored. Led the league the last 2 years in shots and shots on goal. Donovan. Got by Beckerman. There was help coming. And that's the first time Saunders has to handle the ball.
Yeah, it's already called for foul, though. I think there was a late little pull on Landon Donovan back over there, so free kick. But again, the Galaxy, this is where the experience grows. They have to start getting control of the game again. Real Salt Lake gaining momentum, getting that goal. See what happens in the next 5 minutes.
Beckerman, Mathis. Nice ball ahead. Movsisian has an angle toward goal. Too high. He never really had that ball under control. And Saunders came flying out at him.
Well, again, you're seeing the space in the midfield. Kyle Beckerman, Clint Mathis, Williams, Grabavoy, they are getting space, and the ball gets played over the top. The Galaxy tucked inside and not really in their shape, the discipline. Movsisian needs to be better and hit the target there, though. The ball's bouncing up, and I know he's running at pace. Well, that's the thing, the exposing of that back line, the lack of pace compared to really the strikers, it's a big difference.
Full credit to this Real Salt Lake team. A below 500 record. They knocked off the defending champions, Columbus, and they're trying to knock off the Galaxy as well in this. Who would have thought they would have come this far, but they have, and they deserve credit for that.
Well, Major League Soccer, it's a game of 2 seasons, isn't it?
Yeah.
And time and time again, history has shown us that it's not always the best team in the league that wins the cup.
Who finishes stronger? Columbus was terrible down the stretch, and they're out. These were 2 strong teams at the end of the year. And they're still fighting for the Philip and Schutz Trophy, going to the winner of MLS Cup 2009. A right-hand contusion injury for Donovan Ricketts in goal. A left MCL sprain for Javi Morales of Real Salt Lake. That happened in the first half. So 2 big players out. 1 for each team. And then you add in Will Johnson, subbed out for illness too. All the way back to Raimondo. Winger. Beckerman. The pressure builds in Seattle.
Look at the space in the midfield right now.
Nice ball, Williams, to his good friend Mathis. Finley trying to play it back, and it's deflected back. And at least that's a ball that Saunders can handle and get a feel for the game.
Now you saw Kyle Beckerman find Clint Mathis. Right now, it's good to see Charles is getting the ball. He's like, ooh, that He thought it was going to be a back pass, but it's not really. It wasn't intended to be a back pass. But again, the midfield from the Galaxy got to tighten things up.
That's Buttle looking. There's the help. Donovan is a low shot that went wide. Well, that's the most dangerous LA's looked this half.
Yeah, and it's good work from Edson Buttle. He's trying to back into Borchers. He's been marking him tight all night. And he lays this ball back into the path of Landon Donovan, the MVP of the league this year. And he strikes it wide.
In the meantime, Real Salt Lake are looking to make their final substitution, and it is an offensive-minded one in Fabian Espíndola. And then that would be it for Real Salt Lake. Plenty of time left in this one. 1-1, 74th minute. Donovan, the league MVP, went down, did not get the call. Olave, pressured by Beckham. Knotted down. Saunders calls for this. Gonzalez to Franklin. Borcho. Mathis to Beckerman. Andy Williams, they're finding the seams here, and then Andy Williams, normally a much better passer of the ball, passed that one away. Let's go downstairs to Rob Stone.
Well, guys, so Espíndola is going to be coming on. It'll be for Euromov Sissy, and head coach Jason Kreis has shown a penchant to be offensive-minded throughout the postseason. That probably comes from him being a striker and one-time all-time leading scorer in Major League Soccer. I asked him, what's the last words you said to Espíndola? He said, "You're going to win the game for us, son."
Those are nice words, Rob. Let's see if Jason Kreis is a prophet. Meanwhile, Euromov Sissy says goodbye to Major League Soccer. His next team, Randers, in Denmark. That's a big loss, I think, for the team and also for the league, using a good young player like Movsisyan.
I agree. He is a good young player, and there's been many. Those are some of the things that Don Garber was talking about, the commissioner of the league, saying he has to address is keeping the best players in the league if he can, and dealing with the collective bargaining agreement. Yes, it's upcoming now in discussions.
So Jason Kreis, meanwhile, John has made his third and final sub. We mentioned Bruce Arena still has a couple to make if he wants, as the clock strikes 75 minutes.
Well, you think about some of the veterans that are sitting on the bench for the Galaxy. Chris Klein, Eddie Lewis. Good experience on these players. They've been in big games before. And again, Alan Gordon, who comes off the bench at times and scores up front for these guys. Don't forget about Dima Kovalenko. I think that change right now is starting to see. You know, Dima always plays with his heart on his sleeve. He's played in the postseason, done well for them in the central part of the midfield.
Listed as an available sub today, but he has been ill. That's why he was not starting. This one going into the box, and there's Saunders. The pressure now falls on Josh Saunders. Second year at MLS, formerly in the USL with Miami.
I wouldn't be surprised if you actually bring a Chris Klein in and put him on the wide side for Birchall. You know, because they've changed now. Birchall's gone out to the wide right. And just Klein likes to overlap and get forward. He's played with David Beckham so many times throughout this season.
You have Klein, you have Eddie Lewis. You mentioned Gordon.
Right.
A lot of things that Bruce Arena can do on that sideline if he chooses to. McGee will chase after this. His goal started it, but it didn't end it. Here's Donovan. Can he turn? He laid it off for Buttle. Tackle away. Galaxy get it back. Wide to Burchell. Trinidad and Tobago International finds Beckham. Look at that ball into Karofsky. And that's going to be blocked. It will go out for a corner.
Good run from Jovan Karofsky, and excellent vision, and the weight of the pass from David Beckham. He doesn't even have to break stride there as that ball comes in. Well, I thought he was going to turn and hook it first time. Those are the balls you just, you know, blindly. You just hit it without even seeing anybody. Turn and put it across.
Fifth corner for Beckham. Headed wide. Bodies had fallen down inside the box. '78th minute, 1-1 game. And we are going to see a change or two. That is Chris Klein. Downstairs, Alan Hopkins, what are you hearing?
Thanks, JP. Yeah, Chris Klein getting set to check in for Birchall. Bruce Arena hoping the switch that he made in the first half, McGee for Donovan up top, would work, with Birchall sliding inside or outside for Beckham, but that hole in the midfield is too gaping. And John, your point about Kovalenko is very well taken. As much as an instigator Dima Kovalenko is, it says a lot that he's played in the postseason every single year of his 11-year career. That experience is sorely missing right now for the Galaxy midfield.
It is, Alan, because the players that are in there, Birchall and Krawski, don't play the same way as Kovalenko.
No, absolutely. It's just that experience, like Alan said, you know, plus the decision-making process, the passion, the desire. Dima always brings that in. At times it's gotten him in trouble, but the more focus now is Chris Klein, and he's going to be coming on. That decision to put him in there is a tactical change. Bruce Arena wants to see if he can expose them a little bit wide and let Klein run forward and get in behind Chris Winger as a left back.
Karofsky's pass, McGee to the outside. Intended for Donovan, never made it there, was blocked out. We're going to see the sub now.
And the other thing too, though, he could change it for Birchall, but Chris Klein has played centrally for this team at times. So he could put him centrally in the midfield to sit there and put Beckham back out wide again. We'll have to see how this plays out.
We'll find out soon. One thing also, Beckham and Klein play very well together on that side.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be the right side of midfielder.
Beckham, 23 in white for LA. Into the box, too far for Mike McGee. Remember, Chris Klein was one of those players traded for Robbie Finley a couple of years back. Won an MLS Cup when he played for Kansas City as well. There's Mrs. Beckham, Posh Spice, the former Posh Spice, and Tim Lewicki, who runs the LA Galaxy and all of the other Anschutz Sports Enterprises. Foul was called by Kevin Stott. Free kick, Real Salt Lake. 80th minute. Remember, if it's tied after 90, 2:15-minute overtime, so another 30 minutes, then penalty kicks if needed to decide a winner. Real Salt Lake knows all about it.
Yeah, Clint Mathis, great delivery of the ball. See this dangerous whip ball into the box here.
28th playoff game for the experienced Mathis. Hooks it in. One miss, but then it goes wide. Olave got it. Looked like Borchers was the intended target. Saunders will put it back into play. Towards Buttle and Donovan. Karofsky, Beckham. Stepping up, Franklin. To Beckham, he's got Klein. Oh, he had Klein wide open, and then Beckham was fouled. It'll be a free kick here, and he wanted to push that wide to Klein, who was open on the sideline.
Yeah, Kyle Beckerman knew it was too late for him to actually get a piece of David in the ball, so he's just clipped him from behind. This is what's dangerous right now. The lack of discipline sets up these free kicks. Bruce Arena shouting to keep the balance there.
Inside, the header is wide.
Now you're shouting at the right back, Sean Franklin, to tuck back inside. He doesn't want to get caught with that speed again on the counterattack transition. But David Beckham here taking this free kick. Just a little bit overhit. He's trying to find the back post, which he did against Houston Dynamo, to Gonzalez, who kept that play alive and led to the Bear-Holter goal, if we remember well.
Nick Raimondo strikes that one well over the halfway line. On the chase, Andy Williams. He'll hold it, lays it off. Back to Williams, who's played now for 6 MLS teams. Open is Espindola, but the flag is up. It was right at Saunders anyway. Espindola is a very dangerous player, and he's got very fresh legs, having just come on from Obsession.
Well, again, you talk about some of the players coming on the pitch to make a difference, and there's the offside line. Very well done there. The LA defense just keeping that higher line. Spindler getting in behind there. But again, he's one of the players too, JP, who's got the pace. And he's always going to be teasing and probing to get in there. So they always have to be concerned with him now as well.
It's not much of a difference, is it, when you replace a Movsisian with an Espindola? That's Olave who cut it off. It was intended for Donovan. He'll give it up, though, as a throw into L.A. Donovan inside. Buttle turns. Save and a big rebound. And then Real Salt Lake is able to clear it. Spindola left it off. Grabavoy stepping up. Sean Franklin kept it on the ground for Klein. And tackled away. Big play by Borchers. Throw in for the Galaxy. 33-year-old Chris Klein on the near sideline. 12th year in MLS, third with LA. For Buttle. At the end line, corner. Edson Buttle got a corner for the Galaxy. 6th for David Beckham.
Well, it keeps adding up that stat, you know, of how many corners David Beckham has taken. It's only Omar Gonzalez who's found the end of it, the timing of the runs. So important. He has to beat the first defender here, which Bex does so well.
They'll curl it outside. Kirovsky got a piece. Beckerman got the rest. Sean Franklin steps up, finds David Beckham. He holds it. Deked out Russell inside. Klein let it go. It's loose. Back for Franklin, who brought it down. Wide for Beckham. Here's the cross near side. One flick. A second. Before it could get to Buttle, flag is up. Offside, LA.
Well, David Beckham is getting more room, and he's finding the space out on the right-hand side. He delivers such a lethal ball in the box. The LA Galaxy is starting to put more numbers forward. Let's see, Jason Kreis is analyzing something here. He's telling Grabavoy to stay out wide and keep in your shape. Stretch out the defense a little bit. And Grabavoy being that sub that came on in second half, the number 20 left midfielder right now for Real Salt Lake. And the momentum has shifted again. So Real Salt Lake get back into the game, JP, and now it's all been the Galaxy for the last 8 to 10 minutes.
85th minute. We'll see if we'll get into an overtime scenario. We will if it's still tied after 90. Beckham will get ready to put it back into play 3 times. MLS Cup has gone into overtime, once decided on penalties. The Dynamo beat New England. 2 of those overtime games, by the way, won by the Galaxy over New England. Finley. He has 1 goal. Can he get another? In this 1-1 game, Finley is wide. The cross saved by Saunders. He had to make that. That's a big play.
That's a huge save by Saunders. Well, you have to match the excellence of Robbie Finley, who gets around the outside of Gonzalez. It's a dangerous ball in the box.
Beckham's on the chase. He goes back to the feet of Raimondo. Now to Borchers. Slots it through on the right. Stumble by Spindola. Galaxy get it back. Donovan with room and with Buttle. Edson Buttle in the box. The flag is up. Offside, LA.
Well, it was tough because I'll tell you, Edson Buttle was trying to time his run perfectly. The delivery from Landon Donovan made it very close. Assistant referee put his flag up right away.
Down that far side, Spindola for Finley, and that goes out.
Well, again, the speed of Spindola and Robbie Finley is starting to open up opportunities for Real Salt Lake to get back into the game, change momentum. You see here, there it is, half a yard from Finley, does very well, and there's a great save from Saunders. And the key is that the rebound does not come straight out. And here's the ball from Landon Donovan into Edson Buttle, and it was very tight. They almost beat the trap there to get it behind. Edson Buttle coming over here to the touchline to have a word with maybe Bruce Arena. We'll just see the camera now on Josh Saunders.
Omar
Gonzalez, the rookie of the year, who's down. It looked like the way he planted looked like it hurt. Yeah, he's like, change, wow. And he signals right away to go down.
Well, that's the guy that led the team in minutes, so what a strange night, huh?
It's unreal.
If he has to come out. Let's see what we can find out. Again, we go to the sideline. Alan Hopkins.
Well, JP, Omar Gonzalez limped out of training on Thursday. He did not complete the training on Thursday. And Friday, he was okay. Saturday, much better, but now he can't continue on here. His college teammate, AJ De La Garza, who played quite a bit this season, will come in. But Gonzalez, maybe that knock he took earlier in the week, preventing him from continuing on. But a lot of drama as we build to the extra time here, gentlemen.
Well, we placed one Maryland defender with another. De La Garza will be fresh, but you're losing a lot of size. Omar Gonzalez, 6'5", a physical presence at the back. De La Garza gets the most out of his 5'9" frame, but that's a much smaller player coming on.
Well, the thing is, he's going to shift to right back, and Sean Franklin, who got the Rookie of the Year in 2008 as a center back, will go back in and play alongside Berhalter. So AJ De La Garza coming in, but going to the right back position, and then Sean Franklin going to center back.
Nice pass outside, Espindola with a little time. Left-footed shot is blocked.
It's good cover there from Jovan Karolski. Comes over and doubles up with Berhalter to shut it down. AJ De La Garza, though, did play for University of Maryland, more like a center back, almost a sweeper in behind Omar Gonzalez. So he's used to that position.
Espindola try to cross it. Did he get a corner? He does. Everybody forward for Real Salt Lake. Waiting for a signal on stoppage time as well. Should be a lot put on because of the Ricketts injury. But we'll see. Just the first corner. Real Salt Lake. Driven in towards Borchers, and Saunders is very short-handed there.
Very well done by Josh Saunders. Excellent decision. He commits to the ball, and he stays with it in flight. Does not misjudge it. Very important. Very important
there.
Yeah, definitely.
Saunders will put it back into play. 27 years of age. Was on the roster when the Galaxy won their last MLS Cup in 05. Well, they didn't even make the playoffs the last 3 years. Here they are in the final. 7 minutes of stoppage time put on the board, which is a ton. Beckerman holding it. Espindola. Gonzalez cramping with both calves, we were told, as Espindola gets in line. He tried to go near post, and Saunders was there.
Well, it's a shame, really, because Grabavoy and Finley were both looking for the cross. And there's the speed and the pace. Good creative player, Espindola. He runs onto that ball. It's laid in behind. He tries to cut it back, but it's good defensive play, really. You see, it was like Donovan there who puts him off just enough.
Rob Stone has the report. Let's go downstairs.
Well, JP, John, as you guys know, stoppage time can kind of be a nebulous affair sometimes. It seems odd, the numbers you come up with, but the Real Salt Lake bench has had the stopwatch on all second half for all those stoppages, the injuries, the subs, and 7 minutes, guys, right about what they came up with.
Wow, Rob, that's a lot.
I wonder what they had in the first half, because I was surprised by how little time there was, but that is a lot of time. 7 minutes. A lot can happen in those 7 for Jason Price and Bruce Arena's teams. Franklin, Beckerman stepping out. Beckerman looks like the game just started for him with all that energy. What a big deal that was, getting him from Colorado for Medi Bellucci. Really affected both franchises, made this one much stronger, and really hurt Colorado, I thought.
Strengthened and solidified that central midfield. He's kind of like the quarterback that makes things happen. And if he's on his game, well, things start to tick for Real Salt Lake.
De La Garza went in hard. The 2 number 20s, the foul is on. De La Garza
just kind of caught him late a little bit there. But remember, we talked about the bad record, the indifferent season that Real Salt Lake had. Only 2 wins away from home. One was against Kansas City in August. The other, remember, it was 2-0 against LA.
Mathis over the ball. This one goes up high, and Saunders is there. Look at that toss towards McGee.
Look at the strength and pace of Olave, too. Pick that one off.
Halter. Both teams losing key players to injuries, including the starting goalkeeper for the Galaxy, Donovan Ricketts. Foul call there too. Free kick, Real Salt Lake. We're in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. 7 minutes were put on the board. Grabavoy. Andy Williams.
Very good.
Galaxy get it.
Very good defensive play by Jovan Karofsky. He's actually done well. We're used to him being a second striker or an attacking midfielder throughout his career as a younger player. Now, starting to see Jovan dig in and do that shutting down. He's experienced. He anticipates the play. He's done well tonight.
Throw in for Chris Wingert. Beckerman. Headed down. It's on Mathis. Grabavoy. Looking, leaving it for Wingert. Spindola. Oh, he thought he had Grabavoy with him. Grabavoy wasn't anywhere near him.
When it gets to this late in the game, JP, we talk about the overtimes throughout, you know, the postseason play. Who's got the fitness and the stamina now to go into the extra time? But also, you have to think about those penalties. You don't want to make too many substitutions of players that are confident in finishing off the penalties.
Throw in for Mathis. McGee. That's Karofsky. Better than 46,000 here in Seattle watching this MLS Cup final. It's Beckham. Lost out the ball. Grabavoy. High pressure from De La Garza. Mathis on the turn. 1-1 game. McGee for LA. Finley, a former Galaxy striker, for Real Salt Lake to tie it. Andy Williams sends it in to Espindola. Headed away by De La Garza. It's a corner.
It was such an important, slightest touch from De La Garza because Espindola was waiting for that ball as it comes across from Andy Williams. And it's a searching ball to the back post. He's become a threat already, Espindola.
Second corner, that's it for Real Salt Lake. Kyle Beckerman. Real Salt Lake's captain will take it. Drives it. Far post, headed once. That's an easy play for Saunders. He looks up to jumpstart an attack, but couldn't find anyone open. Didn't want to give that ball away.
Yeah, you saw David Beckham was actually screaming for it, but good decision by Saunders because he got closed down. You don't want to force that issue, do you?
No. 6th minute out of 7. We'll put on the clock for stoppage time. Beckham. Donovan. David Beckham. Haven't seen much of that duo this half. Franklin has to win it, and he does. Wide for De La Garza. Karofsky. Back for De La Garza. The rookie goes long. Buttle for Klein. Recovered it for Edson Buttle. Landed Donovan. Jovan Karofsky tries to get the end line. Good job by Grabavoy. It'll be a throw-in for LA, but he denied that space to Klein or to Karofsky on that wing. Karofsky looks for Klein here in the throw-in. It's behind him to Buttle. Edson Buttle using his strength. Karofsky bends it all the way across. Beckham chips at McGee. Beckerman picks it up. Look at the room Clint Mathis has. He's got 20 yards to go in front of him. He'll take all of it. Leads it for Finley. Out wide, Espindola. A cutting ball. Stumble. And another stumble. The referee went down too. Kevin Stott after Andy Williams had fallen down. Got to think that field turf is even slicker right now with the temperature dropping.
The game opening up even more as it gets towards the end here. Look at his space through midfield.
Seconds left. Beckham trying to find Buttle. That's going to do it. We are going to overtime. Overtime is where we're headed for the 5th time in MLS Cup history. And Bruce Arena's team is back there again, looking for a win against Jason Price's team. We've got at least another 30 minutes to go. Come back with us.
Introducing Primo's new Grain Wise. 100% whole grain pastas, providing delicious ways to get wise about healthy eating. Quick and nutritious, simply delicious. Everyone knows it's Primo Grain Wise.
All I have is a story. Legend has it, one night something magical happened. Some strange alchemy. They say his feet taste like timber in a crackling fire. But he runs like sparks flying. Every team needs the spark. And so it begins.
Hey, Tim's for lunch?
Oh yeah, they got French onion soup now.
French onion soup.
What are you doing?
To Tim Hortons, James.
Right, I'm James.
Tally-ho! Make it quick. Delectable croutons and cheese await. James, my dog. Driver. Tom.
A rich broth with seasoned croutons and a 4-cheese blend. Tim Hortons' new French onion soup, just $2.59. Always a great value.
This is indubitably
Always Tim Hortons.
good.
This is our backyard. This is our hill. And these are our HD moments. Experience them on Viera from Panasonic, official HD TV of the Olympic Games.
The greatest film saga of all time, and the greatest film music ever composed, come together in a spectacular live event. Star Wars in concert, featuring the Royal Philharmonic Concert Orchestra, massive high-def screens, original movie props. Relive the saga as never before. November 26th at Air Canada Centre. Reserve seat tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster.
MLS Cup 2009 continues. We are going into overtime. 1-1 is your score. 2 nice goals in this one. McGee in the first half. Finley in the second half got the equalizer for Real Salt Lake. Here are the goals from tonight.
Well, again, this David Beckham and the interchanging of positions. Landon Donovan finds himself in the right. Excellent ball to the back post. And there's McGee. The 41st minute, and then at the other end, well, the pressure, Real Salt Lake stays with it, and Finley finds himself, the former LA Galaxy striker in 2007 was traded away, and he's hurt the Galaxy here with his goal in the final.
Talk about the key guys that we talked about at the start of the night, Beckham and Donovan, and how they've done.
Well, and so far, really, you know, Landon Donovan's tried to find the game. He started as a left-sided midfielder, and look at that from that heat map right there. You're seeing the red is more where Landon Donovan has ended up. He's been dangerous as a central second striker, and he's done very well. And again, just earlier here, as it ended the regulation time, David Beckham came over, taking a puff on his inhaler, so he's looking for every advantage right now, so he could be struggling a little bit in terms of
120 minutes he had to play last week at age 34. No subs for either team, and we are going to play another 30 minutes, so no golden goal. We'll go to 30, 15, they'll switch sides, another 15, and then on to penalties if no one has taken the lead.
We just talked about David Beckham, and at his age he still looks great. He's moving around so well, but he was limping. We talked about that bruise, contusion to his foot, the bone bruise, and I wonder if that's going to affect him now as he goes into that extra time.
As we start the 2:15s, does either side have an advantage to you right now?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, both teams have gone into overtime in the postseason play. Really it's just about the composure of the experienced pros who know how to make the right decisions when they get them. And those opportunities few and far between right now as we've gotten further on in this game.
Espindola, Grabavoy. 6 times, correct something we said earlier, 6th time that we've gone into overtime in an MLS Cup final, and 1 went to penalties.
Well, I guess if you ask me an advantage right now, you would think that Bruce Arena would have it from a coaching standpoint, because in 1996, we were in overtime, right? Yes, LA Galaxy, of all things. We end up winning with Eddie Pope's goal. So he's been in that point before, but it's all about now. Who makes the most of the opportunities now?
Donovan, wide right. De La Garza. He finds McGee. Mike McGee. For Donovan, that's going to be cleared. Beckham goes up with Grabavoy, and he won it, but did he foul? Yes. Couldn't hear the whistle, but Kevin Stott blew the whistle immediately as Grabavoy went down.
Well, it's a half clearance. It's not a proper clearance. Here he goes up, and the challenge is straight up. He's up for the ball. David Beckham against Grabavoy. It looks like Kevin Stott blew the whistle for a little bit of an elbow that came up from David Beckham.
Robbie Russell in overtime. Real Salt Lake and the LA Galaxy. The underdogs from Real Salt Lake trailed 1-0. Got one from Finley in the 64th to tie it up after McGee had scored in the first half. That cross in towards Funnel. Borchers knocked that away. Wing it for Espindola. Finley. Andy Williams brings it down.
Real Salt Lake getting to the ball first right now. Keeping possession as they break out of the defense.
Kyle Beckerman to Clip Mathis. Andy Williams. Right side, Espindola. He has help with Russell. Espindola. Blocked. It got through. Loose ball for Finley. Nice save by Saunders. Save of the game right there. Mark it down. Cleared by Karofsky.
AJ De La Garza does such a good dive. A job of defending, recovering himself, and they call a foul now, Kevin Stott. But Finley had an opportunity to bury that. It came from Espindola. There's AJ De La Garza right there. I thought he did an excellent job of getting back in. Here's Espindola as he really searches and probes. There's a great run that comes through. There's Finley, and there's the keeper, Josh Saunders. But it looks like AJ De La Garza comes across first and gets the block on it.
Yes,
and it was.
You're right.
What a play. What a great, very important play from De La Garza. Excellent recovery defensively.
Good angle of the replay to show it as Beckham is ready on the free kick. Karofsky. Espindola. Beckham, did he get a piece? Beckham will get it from Donovan. Up towards Bunnell. It's a Bunnell looking to turn. Finds Donovan. He finds David Beckham on the outside. Left-footed this time. And turned out by Winger. Corner kick that maybe he didn't have to give up.
Right, but it's not often you see David Beckham whip a ball in with his left foot. But he does there, and Winger just has to make sure of it. He has to be safe as a defender. Stick it out for a corner.
What do you mean not often? How about almost never with Beckham's left foot?
Exactly.
Beckham will take this.
Well, it's good to see he's capable of using his left, you know. It's very nice.
Element of surprise for sure going for him. Here's Beckham off the right foot. He came in. There's Klein. Did he push? Apparently so. You're watching MLS Cup 2009. LA Galaxy, the favorites against Real Salt Lake. And it's 1-1 here. We'll go 30 minutes to try and determine a winner. No one scores on the penalty kicks, if no one has an advantage, we should say, after another 30 minutes. It's more than one team may score. In the middle it goes to Borchers. Both teams have used all of their subs. Key players that had to leave the game because of injury. Drama continues here in Seattle, and you see a backup goalkeeper, Josh Saunders, having to become maybe the star of the night. What if it goes to penalties? Well, he's in there against Nick Romando, who is so exceptional. that category.
Donovan Ricketts had to go off. He had a bruised contusion to his hand. He just couldn't carry on. And as you say, JP, it could come down to the goalkeepers. And Nicky Raimondo, he was the difference against Chicago. Made 3 saves in penalties. And you see Ricketts right there. There's Nick Raimondo. He did it well in 2004 for DC United. And then again, he came up huge against Chicago Fire last week with 3 saves in the penalty kicks.
97th minute. First of 2 15-minute overtimes. Long throw-in. The flick. And Saunders calls for it. Overtime possession. Last 5 minutes, the edge. Real Salt Lake a huge edge, might point out. That was a trend we saw a bit in the second half. Advantage, Karofsky. Off a flick. Right side it goes. Klein, that's blocked. It comes out. Look, Beckham. Blocked there. There's Spindola. Beckham trying to get it, missed. Spindola for Mathis. Klein's on the chase. Beckerman. 1-1 game in overtime. The 14th MLS Cup final. Here's Finley for Mathis. Robbie Finley. Side netting was all.
Well, again, as soon as it touches his feet, Robbie Finley, his first touch is excellent. It's forward, it's on an angle, and he prepares it well. But it's the strike, well, it's just past the post. The ball comes from Mathis, and the crowd got off their feet. They thought it was in the back of the net. Good build-up from Real Salt Lake, though. The combination of passes, it's a quick thinking, which finds Finley. And there's the space, and he's not far off the mark.
He's the reason why they're still in this. With a game-tying goal against his former team, Andy Williams.
Oh, you see the skill from Williams. He's so capable of that. You give him time and space, he'll hurt you.
Wingers, Spindola towards Beckerman. First to 2 15-minute overtimes. From distance, wide of Saunders. Gold Cup, goal kick coming up. The field of 32 set for the 2010 FIFA World Cup. The World Cup draw show is on Friday, December 4th at noon Eastern on ESPN2. You'll see some of the players from tonight in the next World Cup. A Landon Donovan, a David Beckham, we assume, for England. That will be his 4th World Cup. 200 days and counting to South Africa, 2010. All the games in HD. Up towards the Spindola. Franklin, with the flex back, Berhalter. De La Garza towards Franklin. Sean Franklin. Kowalski, Franklin. Releases to the left. Donovan. Picked off. Gently try to get around. It's Donovan. That's blocked. Was it out? Everybody thought it was on that side. Russell to Beckerman. Olave back to Raimondo.
They just saw the speed of Robbie Finley as he comes across and shuts down Donovan. And then Landon Donovan says, well, anything you can do, I can do better. His fitness level and his pace, too, is very good.
We're in the 100th minute. Even at 1. Jarofsky. Now Grabavoy leads Andy Williams. He pulls it back like an artist. Right side, Finley. Beckerman. Against Beckham. Kyle Beckerman. And that foul is going to give Real Salt Lake a great opportunity here on a free kick.
Kyle Beckerman, good possession, and gets laid back to him. He takes the first touch. He says, I see the space there. Here comes David Beckham. Trying to come in, and he comes late on the side. Did he get a piece of the ball? That's what he argued, but Kevin Stott saw it differently. And now, between Andy Williams and Clint Mathis, 2 players who really, they enjoy being in this situation.
A lot of experience with that duo. On the whistle, it's Mathis. Mathis is going near post as well. Side netting for him too.
Such a good striker of the ball, Clint Mathis, and he's not far off the mark here. He tries to catch it just on the outside of the wall. Josh Saunders looked like he had it covered. And it comes down to this point. Everything that's on stage here in the overtime, it's the players who think about it and focus and bring their expertise to the game that can make a difference right now to win it.
Sports Center is coming up next on a very busy NFL Sunday, but we've got MLS Cup here with Grab-A-Boy. Look at the room. And then it was finally blocked by Franklin. They have waited a hair too long to pull the trigger on it.
You know, one player that you have to look at, you talked about Mike McGee scoring that goal, putting them ahead. He's been kind of quiet throughout the rest of the game, hasn't he?
Yes.
I haven't seen him. They've been able to shut him down. He's trying to find the game more as a central second striker now with Buttle. But we also Lake, they're moving the ball quite well.
Spindola looks, shoots low, it's blocked, but it falls forward to Winger. Way upfield, gains the end line, played it across, Franklin knocked it away. Throw in, Real Salt Lake. Flick by Williams. Saunders was going to call it, and he and Berhalter had a miscommunication. A needless corner given away here.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think Berhalter, you're always told, you know, as a player, coaches tell you, look, if you think you have to commit to that ball, then do it, follow through, and he does. It was the right decision.
Third corner, Real Salt Lake. Going inside, knotted down. Spindola is claiming he was fouled. It's going to be a throw-in. The desperation continues for these two teams in search of a goal here in the first overtime. The first of two 15-minute overtimes, they'll just switch ends after the first 15. In towards Finley, never got there. Grab-A-Boy brought it down, lost it there. And two players down, Russell and Donovan. Donovan and Beckham each have an assist, but otherwise, pretty quiet game for them in this MLS Cup final. Long ball by LA towards Klein. Real Salt Lake touched it last. It'll be a throw-in. Karofsky. Off-balance shot. Goes behind Rimondo. Two teams will change ends shortly. We're in the 105th minute. And then it'll be another 15 to go. We'll see what's going to happen. Will it go on to penalties to determine an MLS Cup winner for only the second time in MLS Cup history?
Right, I mean, I think that Real Salt Lake so far has dictated a lot of the pace and the rhythm of the game for themselves, JP, creating more of the dangerous opportunities.
Watch Real Salt Lake play during the end of the season makes you wonder why they were a team with a below 500 record. They played well down the stretch for sure. Here's Beckerman. Wingert looks, cuts, speed below. That's knocked away by De La Garza. Came on for the injured Omar Gonzalez. Cramping in both calves. Going inside, Williams. Looks, leads it. Mathis, it's blocked. Saunders is already diving down. Donovan, maybe something here from LA. We're in stoppage time in the first overtime. Right side, Klein is wide open. Buttle and falling down. It comes across to McGee. Didn't make it. We're seeing more and more players slip here on this very slick surface. And that's going to do it for the first overtime. And before the next overtime starts of 50 minutes, we're going to turn things back to our studios and get a little Sports Center and find out what has happened on this busy day in sports.
I'm Carl Ravitch, ahead on SportsCenter. Jimmy Johnson, a remarkable 4 in a row.
Hey, Tim's for lunch?
Oh, yeah. They got French onion soup now.
French onion soup.
What are you doing?
To Tim Hortons, James.
Right. I'm James.
Tally-ho! Make it quick. Delectable croutons and cheese await. James, my dog. Driver. Tom.
A rich broth with seasoned croutons and a 4-cheese blend.
Hopkins, do you have anything, any update on Beckham?
I do. In fact, JP, before the overtime, David came off grimacing. Bruce Arena looked at me.
This is our backyard.
Yes, I can. During that first extra time, he retied that shoe a couple of times, trying to get a little bit more support. Yesterday in training, he had the ankle tape. Tonight, he did not have the ankle tape. But right now, that limp getting more and more noticeable as the match wears on. Maybe it'll affect him if he has to take a penalty kick. We'll have to watch and keep an eye on it, JP.
Thank you all. There's not much that Beckham can do in the sense that all the 3 subs have already been made anyway. And you're not going to want to play with 10 men unless obviously there was a real serious injury and the player had to come off.
No, exactly. And the thing is, I think the more focus is what kind of impact can he make when he's got that injury and the pain. But he's been through it before. He's very resilient, great experience, professional. He's been at some of the top clubs in the world, and he's been successful.
That's from the LA side. Rob Stone, what are you hearing on the Real Salt Lake bench area?
Well, guys, they've moved Andy Williams up to that number 10 creative mid.
NASCAR is America. Whatever our national pastime, our national passion is the automobile. American stock car racing stretches from coast to coast